Hi everyone, this is Comics for Thomas. I am doing my free comic book day video, some pickups that I got that day. Also some of the new books that are just in my collection from ordering from eBay and picking up my LCS. So we'll start with the free comic book day books. I only grabbed 3 as my local shop. You can only have 3 at a time, or 3 a piece. So I picked the 3 that I like the most. I do not know how to say the name of this. I've always seen this book around. Well, not that specific one, but that name. I think it's Lady Mechanica. I'm not sure. I've always liked the artwork, and eventually I'm going to check it out to read. So the only ones I don't have bagged and boarded are my actual free comic book day books. I just haven't been had the chance to do it, and this is kind of a last minute video. So here's my next one. I picked up Interceptor. This is a Donny Cates story, so, I mean, why not pick it up, right? And that's from Vault Comics. And the last one for Free Comic Book Day is Spider-Man. I've heard really good things about this, and it's just a really nice cover, so. A few books that I've purchased recently. I got this on eBay. I love this cover. This is Century #1. This is something that I'd like to have in my personal collection graded at some point, so I don't know if I do get it graded, whether I'm going to keep it or not, or maybe sell it to try to get to reach bigger goals, and then maybe down the road get Century #1 again. I've read this book, not this specific one. I've actually read it digitally. It was good. I'm going to continue on with the story slowly, so. I did pick up Ascender #1. I've always been meaning to read Descender, and after watching a YouTube video with White Whale Comics talking about Ascender, but then speaking about Descender, I went in on Comixology and started reading Descender, and it's very, very good. To a point where I'm now starting to pick up covers if I can find them cheap. I'll probably slowly over time just build up a run. Anytime I have a new series, even though it's not new, obviously, I tend to go back and try to fulfill the run. So I haven't read Ascender yet, obviously, because I'm waiting to finish up Descender. That's a great cover. And this, a series I've probably spoken about already, and finally got myself a first print #1, is Die #1. Such a good story so far. I'm going to be reading issue 4 over this weekend, and probably 5 as well. So this will be graded at some point, and that will just be personal collection. I know that if I get it graded, you could probably sell it off and make a little bit from it, but there's just some books that I just want from my personal collection. So now here comes a stack of books that I picked up during Free Comic Book Day. My LCS did a special on their back bin. All books were $1 each. You could get you can get 20 for $10. I think I got around 25 or 26. So these are in no order. You're going to see some from similar series or the same series that are probably not in any type of order. But here we go. So this is Saga #37. It's a variant. It's a really nice variant. I don't know who does the variant, but it's very good. So I picked that up right away. It's a great series. This is X-Men Grand Design. That's a really nice cover of Magneto. This will probably go to my best friend. It's a variant edition. I've mentioned Adam before. He loves Magneto. So anytime I see a really nice cover, I try to pick it up for him, especially when it was only $1. And talking about Descender, here is Descender issue 26. I think that's an awesome cover because it's so simple. Just the robot looking basically through fog, so that's really nice. There are books in here that I've never heard of, but I saw some #1s or just really nice covers and figured I'd grab them. This is Rumble #1. I think that's a pretty nice cover there. Some of these I'm going to have to go and maybe just read them digitally, or just read the comic itself and see if it might be a series I can continue on with. This is a really nice cover. This is Star Wars Darth Vader number 23. Hope you can see that okay. I'll bring this a little closer actually. Just a bit. How's that look? That looks a little better. There's a little bit of glare there, but that's okay. Great cover. I've got Ultimate Fallout Spider-Man No More issue number 2. Really nice Thor cover. And I also picked up number 3. I'll just put that right in front of it. I do have number 4, the First Miles Morales. That one was not $1, obviously. I picked up a while ago, so they'll probably get graded at some point. This I just picked up for a really nice cover. It's Sky Doll Spaceship Collection Book 2, 2 of 2, with mature content. I just like that cover. That's awesome. Especially just right there. It's just like that's like the darkest part, and then kind of fades out the rest of the book. I just think it's fantastic. Exo Man of War. This is the $1 debut. I actually was collecting the rest of this volume. I don't know if I have this specific book, so I just grabbed it. Add it to it. This is a series I've always meant to check out as well. I actually was watching What's Your Grail last night with Tony Sanders and Caleb Smurf. And he was talking about Monstrous. This is issue 13. I think these covers are awesome. It's not something I would necessarily go and spend too much money on the series. I do need to read the first few, maybe digitally, but I do like the look of number 1, so I probably would just get number 1 at some point anyways, and it might turn into something I'll just pick up through back bins. This cover here, Thor 601, I actually had just taken a screenshot about a month ago of when I was just flipping through eBay of just nice covers, just as reminders if I ever see them out, and I ended up finding this one. I think it's awesome. I just love how he's just walking in the front, and basically it looks like the island is kind of like following him, right? So, and I believe this is when Asgard was, I don't remember where it was on Earth, but I don't remember what state they had brought it over. Maybe starting with an M. I feel like Rocks and Company was part of that storyline. So here is, I don't know what volume this is, but there's a pre-order edition of Ninjak number 1. I think that's really nice cover. I was just kind of coming out of the fog as well. Going to take some heads off. Here is Avengers Surrender Part 1. It's Marvel Legacy 675. It's kind of like the hologram cover, even though you can't really see it with the glare there. It's very nice. Here's another book I'll probably give to my best friend there. This is Uncanny X-Men Nation X. Really nice Magneto cover there, and it's Marvel 516. Here's a series I have not read digitally, even though I want the NYX 3 really bad, but it is a pricey book. So this is number 2 of 6. I've always liked these covers. I never knew that number 3 was, I never knew anything about them. I had always saw number 3 on eBay when I first started, really getting into comics. Here's number 5. These are all dollar bins. I always liked the cover, and then I looked it up and realized, oh, okay, it's the first appearance of X-23, and it is not cheap. So hopefully I'll get one someday. Another Valiant series, Britannia. I think it's Britannia, if that's how you say it properly. I haven't read any of this yet, and I've read a lot of Valiant. So, grabbing a number 1, that's perfect. This is something I would just simply take that specific issue and read. This is by Icon Comics. This is number 1. It's called Dream Logic. That's an awesome cover. It's weird though. I don't know. I'll check that out probably on Comixology at some point too. But that's just looks like just kind of a weird piece of art, and I like it. Love this cover. Descender number 11. Fantastic. Descender number 15. Another really nice cover. And Descender, number 19. And issue 24. So I've got a good start to the run. I mean, these are the only ones I have. They're all dollar bins, so I'm not too sure how many issues there are altogether for Descender, but that's a good little start. So this is by Boom Studios, called Grass Kings number 1. Again, just one of those covers. It's just very simple, and I don't know, it's really nice to look at. So check that out at some point. And a series that I have started, I really want a number 1 in my personal collection to be graded. I haven't read the entire series yet. I've read issue 1, and I really liked what I read. So this is God Country number 4, again by Donny Cates. And God Country number 6. I have not looked to see if these are first print, or I believe number 4 is most likely a first print. It looks more like a first print, but this one might be a variant, but I'll have to check that out. And the last book that I have is, again, I have never heard of this. It's by Image though, so I have been in love with a lot of stuff from Image lately. This is called Cry Havoc, and you really can't see it. I'm going to bring it up a little closer, but you can just see like a wolf's face. You probably see my face in there a little bit too, and from the shine, but you can just see the wolf's head in there. So that's going to be something that I'm going to check out as well, and if I like it, I will pick up the issues. So that's it for Free Comic Book Day / new books in my collection. The only other thing I wanted to show, but it's not here, is I won a... Actually, I've got a couple things. I'm going to hold off for video. I've won a couple raffles lately. I just seem to be on fire with those. I've won a couple nice graded comics and a really nice short box that was handmade. So I'm going to save that for a video in the near future. I've got a comic expo coming up in Moncton, New Brunswick next weekend. So I'm going to be picking up some books there. I'm setting myself a little bit of a budget and hoping to find a couple of personal collection books. I'm not going there to try to find spec books or just books I can flip. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not going to be blind to a good deal. But my goal for my first proper comic expo is to just pick up something that I want for my personal collection. I've kind of comprised a list of personal collection books I'd like to have, while I'm in this hobby. And hopefully I find what I'm looking for there. So thank you so much to anybody who has watched this video. If you like the video, hit like. If you don't like it, hit dislike. And if you neither, then don't do anything. Feel free to subscribe. I always like to shout out some YouTube comic community channels or shows. As I mentioned last night, I was watching What's Your Grill, ran by Tony Sanders. It's one of my favorite channels or shows on his channel to watch for Tony Sanders. I really hope that they do Just Slab or Not Just Slab soon as well. I was watching The List with John's Comics with Kids and JD. I can't remember who else was in it. I do apologize. I think Jeffrey Comic Con was there for a bit. That was the other night. I've been catching up on any of Reggie Simmons' videos. They're always fantastic as well. And just this morning I was watching some unboxings from White Whale Comics, which anything that he does I watch because it's fantastic content. So sub everybody up that you can get your hands on. It's worth it. Trust me. Thank you.